So in this series of videos, what I'm going to show you is how the CTFS framework can be used to analyze a real world example. Now, when I say real world example, I do mean that it's an example that has already been provided by the Dialogflow team as an example which can be used for people who are trying to build their bot. So in that sense, maybe it's not quite real world in the sense somebody is already using it, but it is certainly something which has been endorsed by the Dialogflow team itself as an example of an agent which we can follow for learning how to use Dialogflow. All right. So what exactly is this agent? So the one I'm talking about is the example they provided, which is called the Florist chatbot. Now, this was actually first given or created when Dialogflow still used to be API.ai, and it's even possible that this was in fact created before Google acquired the API.ai company. But in any case, this has been a sort of a canonical example which has been used quite extensively. It's been used quite extensively for people who are trying to explain how Dialogflow works, specifically how contexts work. And this used to be as like a sort of a reference guide for folks who are first starting out with Dialogflow. And I'll just go ahead and explain what this chatbot does. What you see here is the flowchart for the Florist bot, and you can see I would like you to just ignore this section over here, and let's just start with this one. So the user says, I want to buy a bouquet, and the bot is going to respond with, okay, would you like to compose a bouquet yourself? So the first thing to notice is that users messages are highlighted, or like rather the box is colored as yellow and the bot's message color is green. So user says, I want to buy a bouquet. The bot comes back with, would you like to compose a bouquet yourself? And then user is going to say either yes or they're going to say no. So if they say yes, then it's going to ask, all right, what kind of flowers would you like to add first? And then the user might say, please add 5 roses. And then it's going to say, I put these roses in your bouquet. Should I add anything else? And notice that there is an arrow going back to the same place. So it's, in other words, it is going to keep prompting this user to provide more input until they say some phrase like no thanks. And until then, you can see that it's going to keep looping through this request response pair, if you want to call it that. As soon as the user says no, it's going to come out of that loop and it's going to say, okay, you can purchase your wonderful bouquet at our office. If the user had said no when the bot asked, would you like to compose the bouquet yourself? Then it's going to ask, like, okay, what occasion do you want the bouquet for? And then the user, as you can see, they can say 4 different things: wedding, anniversary, Valentine's Day, and birthday. And based on that, the bot is going to simply say, okay, here is your wonderful bridal bouquet, and so on. So you have these, you can think of it as these possible flows that the user could, like the bot could have. And the way that they construct these flows is by using a sequence of input and output contexts. And by using these specific input and output contexts, they're able to construct the flow in such a way that it actually goes in this in the manner that you see in this flowchart. So this is the basic idea. When the user comes to buy the bouquet, it's going to go to these 2 high level branches, and based on whether the user says yes or no for the composing of the bouquet by themselves, it's going to do a sequence of the other steps, and then for the case of no, it's going to just ask them for their choice and then come back with a response. So this is the basic idea. This is how the bot is supposed to work. And in the next video, what I'm going to show you is what I do with this particular flowchart and how I modify it so that it is more closely matching what you see inside Dialogflow, where you have like a single request and a single response are both occurring inside the same intent.